So after that, we were being tortured. We were being beaten. And see, I was that kind of person. Wewe ukishikwa shikamana peke yako. Mimi sikuwa naongea. Mimi nilikuwa tu nimenyamaza. What happened? I don't know. Mimi nilikuwa nimekaa mbele. So what used to say, I told them, I have my medical reports there. Look at my medical reports. I got asthma and I cannot move. I can't. So the history teacher was like insisting. I'm insist kabisa. So now, actually, we were in the office from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. being tortured. We've not taken lunch, we've not taken tea break. So in the evening, because I had my medications there, I combined all of them. Nikazichukua zote. Then what do you want to do? Kambia wacha nini na mimi? I want to die because I think I've had enough of this. For me, I felt hapana. I've had enough of this and hapana, nimechoka kabisa.
Hi. Welcome to the Golden Apple Show. This is your host, Jackie Njeri. By the way, have you subscribed to our channel? Please do. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and remember to share and comment our content. Now, I keep saying, don't shy away from telling your story, because your story could be the key to someone else's prison. Our stories make up who we are. So we need to share and just be proud of the journey we have been through. Sometimes it's not very joyous to think about it. Sometimes it's full of very painful stuff that we've been through. But it's what has made you to be the person that you are today. So don't shy away from sharing your story. If you know anyone who has a story to share, please refer them to us. And I'll be more than happy to have them here and give us their story. I have my guest here. I don't want to give an intro. I want her to introduce herself and then straight take us into her life story, who she is, what makes her tick, everything about you. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Hi, everyone. My name is Josephine Nanu John. I'm a student at the East Africa Institute of Professional Counseling. I'm taking my diploma in counseling psychology. So I'm through. I'm starting my internship next week.
Oh.
Yeah, with the Red Cross in Voi, Taita Taveta County. And I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me here.
Most welcome.
Josephine is a girl who grew up in Mathare in Huruma, and I come from a family of 4 children. I being the only girl and 3 boys. I school at Bishop Kichanga Academy. Then later I got a transfer. I went to Muthega Primary School, where I completed my primary school and got my KCP certificate. So when I was in class 4, I remember one day we went for swimming because our primary school had a swimming pool. And after swimming, I got some difficulties in breathing. And I didn't know what was the problem. So after I went back home, after classes now. So at night it got worse and mom and dad took me to hospital. So thereon I came to discover that I was having asthma and I didn't know. So at first I didn't know what it was, because being a child, parents normally tell us kids things in a very easy way. The thing like, it's just a small issue, it's a issue. But so when I continued to grow, I now came to understand what it is, and I understood it was not a simple thing to deal with, because number one, you have to work with that inhaler. Yeah. You have to have those tablets with you every now and then. And one thing I hated was, let me call it public sympathy, because anytime maybe having an attack, you like kila mtu anakusurround. You see that sympathy, you're even feeling more sick than you are. But I still struggled. I was still battling. And I remember when I was in class 8, after I completed my exam, the last day I went home. I think that was one of the most fateful days that I still remember till today. I had this neighbor of ours who was a pastor, and he called me to his house and he sent me for airtime. Can you do my airtime? So nikaenda nikamletea, being this little girl, so ukituma unaenda, just went. So kufika, this man is, nimeingia, and then is like, unajua kuweka? Then mimi nikamwambia yes, so nikaeka. So after kuweka, when I was putting the second one, this guy akafunga mlango juu katikati na akafunga pia chini. Oh God, so I was like, what is wrong with this person? So the first move that this guy made, he touched my hand, and I felt weird because for me, I believe that this is a neighbor. I looked at him as my dad, but that closing the door up, na kunishika hivyo, I think it meant some communication to me.
Yeah.
And he started telling me some words like, you're beautiful, and to me, it didn't make sense. I felt so weird. And I told him that I am cooking food in the house, let me go check on it, so that he ban.
Yeah.
So when I went there, I locked myself there, and he came knocking.
You went back home?
Yes. Sini next door to hapo.
Yeah.
Nikaenda nikafunga mlango. So this girl's like knocking the door. Kwani utoki? Kaambia nakuja. So I went there, I was crying. And my entire life as a child until today, I think I'm a daddy's girl, because I think at some point mom became so strict on me being the only girl in the family. So I think I grew up bonding with dad more than mom. So when dad came home, I told him what happened, and I asked him not to tell mom. But he told mom. So 2 days after, mom called Kanita, and she started questioning, did he touch you? You know the way women venye mnakuanga. She was like, yeah, amefanya nini? Uko sure? Do you go to hospital? No, like, ajanishika, he only touched my hand. Yeah. There's nothing that he did. Then she was like, do you know we can start to go to Makadara lockouts again? Then I was like, oh my God, another emotional damage. Because when I was in class 3 again, I had a friend who was harassed sexually. And she told me, and being this good friend, you see, when we were babies, we used to bet, when I tell you something, you don't tell another person. So we hid the secret for like 3 years. Yeah, for 3 years. And so there's a day she finally came and told her mom. So when her mom called my mother, so we were going to Makadara from 2010 till 2015. And unfortunately, justice was not served. Kenya being Kenya, justice was not served till today. So in 2015, when I joined high school, my mom advised the mother to my friend to stop, because we were paying lawyers, it's expensive, and anytime that we were going there, we were being told, come next time, come next time, come next time.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah, so when I was in class 8, now after this, now my incident with this guy, now my mom was telling me, unataka kurudi Makadara tena? It's like she was threatening me, niambia ama turudi Makadara. Then I was like, mom, happy nishika. Yeah. So sometimes, parents can put you in a state that you don't even know what to do. They push you saying something that you didn't even want to say.
Yeah.
Because you see, at the end of the day, I was even thinking, ama nidanganye tu ndo atulie. Because if I said alinishika mahali, angetulia angesema, si nilijua tu. Because I know the way women are. But anyway, that was it. So I went to high school in Chuka. Went to Kireni High School in Chuka. Again, I think I got another emotional torture in high school because the place is very cold. But when I went to the doctors, I got some medical reports. So in high school, I had many friends because I used to bath with hot water.
Because of asthma?
Yeah. So these friends were like, leo tunaoga na wewe, leo tunaoga na. So like, you're having friends because they want to hear that taste of hot water.
Yeah.
Because even when I was in Form 1, I used even to wash clothes with hot water. I couldn't touch cold water because water there was very cold. Because Chuka is just a few kilometers to Meru. So again there, so when I reached in Form 2, no, Form 1 third term, my history teacher, we did not have a good relationship with him. So he came to realize that at some point I was not writing notes. And for me, I'm that person. I love, even if you're older than me, I love arguing on facts. So ilikuwa kesi kubwa, and at some point I was sent home because of not writing notes. So when I came back with my dad and we had a meeting with the principal and the class teacher, I gave them facts. Why are you not writing notes? Dad, it's because of this. Huyu mwalimu wants me to write notes from the same textbook that you are given. That is the same as making another textbook.
Oh.
It's not even making sense. I cannot give you a storybook to read, then I'm telling you write the same notes on another book. That is like writing a storybook twice. It's not even making sense at all.
Yeah, it's not practical.
So the history teacher kakata, so akasema the only way for me to go back to history class, I started writing notes from where I stopped. So nikakumbuka kutoka form 1, first time ikaenda kuisha, tuko form 2, first term. Hizo notes zote nitatoa wapi? So I told them, I'll do 7 subjects. It's not a must I do history, you know. So at some point this teacher akakuwa like was showing some form of attitude towards me, because you see my dad was that person, akikuja shule he was siding with us, with me, even if mimi ndo nilikuwa na makosa, because my dad is that kind of person who will side with me mbele ya mwalimu, but tukienda kando we are talking sisi wawili tutakuwa mabe. So and this went on for some time. This teacher was akinipata kwa makosa, he was punishing me properly.
Okay.
So I knew this is the attitude that he has towards me. So I remember one day in form 2 second term as we were closing the school, I carried all my belongings home. And I told mom that I'm not going back to this school again. And even dad. But they were saying, hiyo ni mambo ya shule, wewe ndio utamaliza umwache. But you see sometimes, I came to realize, you see sometimes parents, when children are talking, you're just taking everything as simple. And it's not supposed to be that way. So when we were opening the school, nilirudi na mizigo zangu. I think I carried almost everything. Towel, the only thing I had not carried ni box na my bucket. But my box was empty. Even the shopping ilikuwa imebaki yote nilikuwa napeleka nyumbani. I really hated school because of that teacher. So I remember there's this one night he was on duty during night breaks in high school. So, and he called, and I was written as a newsmaker. And we went to the office. So he was calling us one by one. So when I entered there, I found my chemistry teacher. Another damage. I think hapo sasa ndo nilichukua ile shule ile kabisa. Because this year alikuwa ananiambia you'll be nothing. Kazi yako tu ni kulala. You know, but they used to sleep. Even actually the whole class knew me. They used to call me a sleepyhead, and I used to love that. But I used to sleep. Not knowing that I was depressed, that's when nilikuwa nalala. Hakuna mtu alikuwa anajua. I used to
That
sleep.
was your coping mechanism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To sleep.
Yeah.
Because when you make noise at me, I sleep.
Yeah.
And so they used to say that I'm rebelling. They didn't know. I used to sleep. Kazi yangu ilikuwa tu kulala. Make noise at me, I sleep. Shout at me, I sleep. Ukinifukuza class unapata nimelala hapo nje.
Na home ukiwa pia triggered ulikuwa nalala, reaction ilikuwa the same?
Well, at home I used to kujikaza kidogo, because my mom is a no nonsense woman. Because my mom is that kind of person. You see, like when I used to go home back after tumefunga shule, she was like, Mommy, I was like, Mom, I'm not taking Githeri. And she was like, huyu ameshiba wacha nini na yeye. She couldn't understand. I was eating Githeri in school every day. Actually in school we eating Githeri from Monday to Monday. Haiwezi kosa kwa meal yoyote, either lunch ama supper, every day. So I hated Githeri even till now. I don't even cook Githeri. I don't. So Mom used to say, huyu ameshiba wacha na yeye. My mom was very strict, and until she's very strict and very tough. So my chemistry teacher alikuwa hapo ndani, yeye naye akaanza. Huyu hata sikizangi kwa class, you know, and then I find see now they've joined. Now they're like, now sasa wako hapo kwangu. Hey, we are fanyangi, this is like this and like that and like that and like that. So, remember we were doing our cuts. Ndio tumefungua shule, we were doing opening cuts. And I was called in the office. So going in the office, I found some 3 boys sitting there and 2 girls. I was in a mixed school. So I didn't know what the problem was. So being asked, so the teacher who called me akaniuliza, have you ever gone home with so and so and so? And then I told them yes. What happened? So now I was like, what is not happening here? No, so I remembered, you see, when we were going home, of course, when you're in high school, gari kosange vituko. So you find some people smoking, doing all that.
Yeah.
So I think one parent spotted that car that you were in and aka-report shule. So unfortunately, I was in that car. So going there inside, I found my chemistry teacher there, my history teacher there. Oh my God, I knew kuisha mimi. So the history teacher, hata sikuwa nimeanza kuongea. Akasema, huyu kwanza hiyo bangi amevuta sana. And I was like, in mind, how can I smoke bang? Knowing very well I'm asthmatic, how can I smoke? Ini sometimes, sometimes even tell teachers, bana hapana. The way you're treating students. That is why you find even students committing suicide in school. You don't know why.
Take note.
Teachers, for real, even parents should take note. When your child doesn't want to go to school, kindly follow up and know what is the problem.
Yeah.
So after that, we were being tortured. We were being beaten. And see, I was that kind of person. Wewe ukishikwa shikamana peke yako. Mimi sikuwa naongea. Mimi nilikuwa tu nimenyamaza. What happened? I don't know. Mimi nilikuwa nimekaa mbele. So what used to say, I told them, I have my medical reports there. Look at my medical reports. I got asthma and I cannot smoke. I can't. So the history teacher was like insisting. I'm insist kabisa. So now, actually, we were in the office from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. being tortured. We've not taken lunch, we've not taken tea break.
Eish.
And in the morning, I had not taken porridge. I didn't like porridge in high school. So in the evening, because I had my medications there, I combined all of them. Nikazichukua zote. Then, what do you want to do? Kambia wacha nini na mimi? I want to die because I think I've had enough of this. For me, I felt, hapana, I've had enough of this. And, hapana, nimechoka kabisa. So after that, I was taken to a teacher. Our life skills teacher to Konga 1 to 3. And then I told her, for real, I have never smoked bang. And for me, I think bang stays in the body for, I think, for 6 months.
Yeah.
So I was telling them, let's do a drug test to confirm.
You were that bold?
Yes, I was telling them, let's do a drug test, we confirm if there's bang in the body. So these teachers were, bana, hey, my history teacher. Mungu tu akusaidie kwenye huko. So, sorry to say this, I am. So luckily when I was in Form 3, third term, I see now the Form 4s are leaving. So we were selecting new, we're calling it student council. So the prefect, the whatever. So I was selected as the guidance and counseling prefect. So again, my history teacher, against me. Because you see, when you're a prefect in high school, you are wearing a different uniform from the others. So ulikuwa unajisikia kiplani. And I think in Form 3 now I started, but then in Form 1 and Form 2 I did not sikuwa nakula vizuri shule because I hated the food. But you see, when you're a prefect in our school, sometimes you used to sneak, you can eat the teacher's food. So hapo nilianza kukula at least. So now in Form 3, when I was back in primary school, I was saying that when I want to grow up, I want to become a teacher. At first I wanted to become a teacher. Then at some point I did not have a career, but I was saying nilikuwa nataka kufanya kazi na Red Cross. Sikuwa na career. But you see, when I was in Form 3, I was introduced to peer counseling. And I think they started getting my self-identity. Who I was, who I want, what I want to be. So we continued until in Form 4.
So wait, even if your history teacher tried to oppose your being a captain, it didn't go through, so you still continued? I
still continued. Because the good thing, I had teachers. You see, in every school, every student, hawezi kosa ule mwalimu anakujua ni mbaya.
Kusangi watiaji.
Exactly. Na unapatanga pia wale wenye anakujua wewe ni mzuri. Wewe ni mzuri. So I gained favor actually. Yeah, so I carried on. And when I was in Form 4 in first term, my history teacher got a transfer. So so my soul was at rest. So after completing high school, something came up again. I had to deal with some difficulties because now my parents had to relocate from Nairobi to Mwingi County because my dad got a job with the county. And my mom was like, hakuna mtoto hapa. So, I'm living with my husband. So to me, I was like, oh my God, now what will become of me? Because hao wengine ni wakubwa, so me being the last one, I was like, what am I going to do? So at first my dad was like, I should go and stay with my elder brother. So my elder brother lives in Zimmerman, and him being married, I didn't want issues. You know when you mkiziana na your in-laws, there's something must come up from nowhere, of course. So I didn't want. So I was forced to now start living alone at 19.
Wow.
So at first, mom was like, apana. So I told her, you have to get away with your friends, because at the end of the day, at some point I'll live alone without you, and without anybody else. But living alone gave me a sense of responsibility. So at 19, before I started living alone, I had this family friend who's not even of my tribe, and she accommodated me in her home. I think for like 6 months.
Wow.
And the best thing that I learned from her, she used to treat me like her own kid. And because she had a house help, there are people and they're having house helps, and you go to their house, you do your own clothes, your own shoes. But for me, she used to tell me no. Kutoa nguo weka hapo kwa nguo chafu.
Wow.
And you see, I think from her I learned not everyone is bad. And she used to work in a salon. So on Sundays after church, she used to do us pedicure, manicure, take us out, all of us. And for me now, I think I started loving people. But now I was still sensitive to men because of the other experiences. I was still very sensitive to men. So at 20, after I completed my computer, at 20 now, I started living alone. I got a place in Kangundo Road. So now living alone, now is when I joined East Africa Institute. But not because of COVID, we had to go back home again. So there's nothing that we have learned. So we resumed back in 2021. So in 2021 again in January, the first semester, I attended all the classes very well, but again I could not do my exams. I got sick again.
Asthma?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So back in mind, I was like, campus is not like high school. You see, campus and college, you catch on you umeachwa wengine wanasoma.
Yeah.
So I felt so bad because it was like 2 weeks and then exams. I could not do exams. So I had to defer the exams. So in semester moja imeenda hivyo, I've not done exams. But I have attended all the classes fully. So again now when we were reporting back to the second semester, now from May to August, I had gone home. So when I was coming back again, something came up tena. There was now lockdown. Really county to county. So again I could not go back to school.
Oh my gosh.
So back in my mind I was like, I started with so and so and so.
Yeah.
What wataniacha shule mi hapana. So now there I got into depression. Ile kabisa sasa. I used to sleep I could sleep from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. And nimelala. So when I wake up at 7 p.m. I wake up, I eat food, I go back to sleep again. And I could sleep very well.
Let me ask you, during these depressive episodes, what kind of thoughts were going on in your mind?
My biggest fear was, watamaliza shule waniache. So you see, like in high school, when people go to Form 4 and you're left back in Form 3, you are a repeater. So like me sitaki kuitwa a repeater. Yes. So that was my biggest fear. And see, there's no way you can go because there is lockdown everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't go.
So you were battling with things that were actually beyond your control.
Exactly. And I didn't know.
Yeah.
So it was very tough. And now I was like, what am I going to do? Because you see, at the end of the day, imeekwa, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So I think it is the point that I realized that there are things you can control, and there are things you can't control by the way. So at that point, I noticed ukitoka hapo nje kwa mlango, there was some naked place. So I went and asked my younger cousins, go get me small containers. So when they got me the small containers, I planted flowers there. So when those flowers grew, I used to go, every morning I used to go and evening and water those flowers. So they grew very well. Till today they're still there. So every morning I used to go to those flowers and tell myself deep inside that the way these flowers are growing, I'm just hoping that I'll just grow like them. One day my dream will grow like these flowers.
Wow.
So for me, so I think there was some sign of hope. But now again, going on the side of the house, there are some 2 graves dug there. There are some graves there actually. Now it took me back to, hey. So when I was in Form 2, actually I think it was the hardest time of my life. In January, I lost my nephew, the second born to our firstborn now. He lost his son. And to make matters worse, I didn't get the chance to attend the funeral. So that was in January. So for me, I don't know. So I had some issues with grief also. And then how depression actually appeared and wait. So again, to make matters even more worse again, the same year in April, we lost a niece. So it's sometimes you just think like, have you done anything wrong to deserve whatever you're going through? You know, so people are talking a lot because you see, there's no way you can lose a family member in January, okay, February, March, April, then you lose another one. Add disaster. So people are like, you know, really. So you're even being stigmatized for what you don't do. And so to make matters worse, I never attended any of the burials.
You were in school?
Yes. Because actually, the one who died in January, he died on 5th, and on 6th, we were going back to school, so we went back to school. This other one died on 30th April, and the following week, we were going to school, so we just went back to school. So that stigmatization, especially see from the villages, you know, people from the villages are not civilized in a way, sorry to say, because they have that mentality. If something bad happens to you, you have done something bad. Now to make matters worse, being from a family, we see my dad is a pastor. So being a pastor's kid and a pastor's family, how can a pastor lose family members? Wait. So I'm looking at my flowers, huku naangalia kaburi, so like what is not happening? So my mom being this spiritual, you know, they believe that everything is spiritual. So I used to go, anytime I go home, I used to go to those graves and sometimes cry. Then she's like, for how long are you going to cry? So mom didn't know. I have not grieved. I had not grieved. So at least, I think last year in October when I was at home, I tried to empower her kidogo. I told her, Mom, not everything is spiritual. A normal human being must grieve. And me crying here anytime I come at home, it's because I didn't get the chance to bury these children. Because I know very well, if I had the chance, I could not be crying today.
It would be different. You would have healed a little bit more.
It would be different. So now after the lockdown in Elisha, so I came back to Nairobi. So now I used to attend classes, but now online. Because I was afraid of if I get sick again, you know. So I was saying, let me do online. In case I get sick, I'm at home, I'm still learning. So that went on well. And now 2022 January all through, it has been great. But now I think, so the church I used to go, where my dad pastors, but now my dad pastors in a branch in Mwingi. So the one I go is in Nairobi Moja 3. So I used to go there, and now being a pastor's kid, they expect much from you. And everyone is expecting you to be like an angel. This kind, you know, they say coming from a pastor's family, you'll be this good girl. So for me, I think I was kind of opposite of it, because for me, if it's my time to party, I have to party. If it's time to go to school, it's time to go to school. So I was going to church. So I think in April, some issues came up. You see, being a pastor's kid, you can it's like I cannot do a mistake.
You're expected to be perfect.
Yeah, they want me to be 100% perfect. So for me, so I started, you see that this easy to midomo tudogo nasikia kwa church. Amefanya kafanya. So at some point I felt like I was judged and I'm not being embraced here. And so for me,